We are live. Right, so new week. Big week actually. Got fair few events this week now. On 23rd, 24th, we have the ETH ETF deadline. Also, we have the FET AGIX and Ocean merge on the 24th. And we also have Nvidia earnings on the 22nd. So talk about this morning. Have a look at like prior Nvidia earnings and how AI coins reacted around it. Also, we'll discuss the ETH ETF. Some thoughts about this. A lot of people think that the denial of the ETF is already priced in. I could also probably vouch for that, given the price action we'd seen. Probably should have done a bit more digging, but I can't remember when they announced they were applying for an ETH ETF. I think it was a while ago, right? But a lot of people were saying that this move from ETH has been the denial of the ETH ETF being priced in, and potentially on the news that we have the denial of the ETH ETF, we could see a nice move back higher. That's just how things go in this market, really, isn't it? It was the same with the merge, ETH merge. September 15th, 2022. ETH 2.0 merge, right? Bit different scenario, obviously, but same thing again. We sort of, a lot of people, in this case, we were in a bear market, right? So conditions were different, but we did have like months prior to the merge, we did have like a decent move up from ETH, and even prior, like a couple weeks prior to the merge, ETH 2.0 was this like walk up on price, and even before that we had like a sell off, right? So times have changed since then. Obviously, we're in a bull market now. Some people seem to think that we're not, but so there's a chance that ETH ETF is priced in. Obviously, when we look at ETH now, it's actually formed a really nice bottom. And with the denial of the ETH ETF, then, either way, right, an approval of the ETF can be positive for the market as well, for obvious reasons. But, we have a nice divergence into the low, right? So we've got this nice momentum divergence here. With ETH sort of forming this like 3 drive into the low, with Awesome Oscillator also forming this divergence as well, and also with the RSI forming pretty nice divergence into price, right? So these divergences are pretty hard to time when like price is in a downtrend, right? But once you start to get this sort of shift in structure, we can look for that reversal, especially if we've got confirmation on the higher time frame of a divergence into the lows, right? So when we have this divergence here, and also now we have the structure shift, right? Like from ETH, we sort of are forming this like bearish structure, right? And again, we broke down, right? Broke down here and sort of failed to reclaim. And again, we broke down here. But this time we, look to put in a strong reclaim. So positive signs this week. We're compressing now on ETH. It's getting super tight, right? Like this compression is getting tight now, and historically, right, these compressions lead to expansion, right? What you get is like price compressing, especially with this divergence into the low. Honestly, I haven't seen a more clean bottom out of something. The problem with ETH is it's just a pain in the ass to trade, and it has been a shitter to trade, right? But this sort of like as most people call it, like this falling wedge, the momentum divergences, and now the reclaim and the shift of this bearish structure is very positive. And once this we hear the news of the ETH ETF, I think we can see some positive flows again this week, right? And also it's forming this sort of trend as Sol is, right? Just sort of sat on this trend right now. We go to Solana, right? Same as what Sol's doing, just like this really strong trend, you know, almost over 6 months now of just this like strong uptrend. And like this uptrend is just every time we reach this uptrend, we drive away from it, right? We go back to ETH. Every time we come into this like uptrend, we drive away from it, right? So very positive signs for ETH at the moment, overall. The idea of ETH outperformance is it's hard to say whether ETH would outperform necessarily given the scenario of ETH BTC. You know, ETH BTC is in a pretty strong downtrend still. You know, I'd like to say that we're close to the bottom, but I really don't know at this point, and I've given up trying to, you know, necessarily try and time a bottom on it. It's been a bit of a pain in the ass to try and time, and people that have been attempting to trade it are not having fun, right? That's for sure. But this trend, if you did see something like this on ETH and we reclaim this trend, that could be positive. But with BTCD looking the way it does, right, I talk about this every time, but it's very important to always refer back to BTC, right? BTCD, apologies. Every time we're in this like uptrend, or like every time we break this uptrend, right? So we sort of form a range, we break from the uptrend, we retest the previous high, and we drive higher, right? We're in a range, we break from that range, retest that previous high, and we drive higher, right? Again, we're in a range, we retest that range, we break higher, we retest that high, and we move higher, right? Until we sort of break from this trend that that BTCD is in, I don't expect like ETH to outperform, right? Necessarily, or I don't expect altcoins to perform as well as most are expecting them to. But if at some point we did get this like shift in structure, right? And if we talk about it as if this, like if we flip the chart, it's a lot easier to see, right? You know, we could almost say that, you know, if BTCD reclaims here, then this trend has flipped, this structure has flipped, and we put in this nice deviation, and likely BTCD would fall a little bit back towards 52%, in which case, you know, we could see some ETH outperformance, right? But for now, BTCD is in a very strong uptrend, and we should really acknowledge this. Then we have the Nvidia. So this is on the 20th. That's ETH ETF deadline, 23rd, 24th. We have the Nvidia earnings on the 22nd, which, if I remember correctly, last Nvidia earnings was very positive for AI coins. And with the FET AGIX and Ocean merge on the 24th, this can also be very positive for AI coins. You know, the AI basket is fairly, when we talk about exchange listings, the AI basket is actually, you know, fairly small compared to a lot of other things, right? Obviously, there's quite a few meme coins, real world assets, like there's still, you know, not a large amount of AI coins. And now when we start to take out AGIX and FET and Ocean, the distribution of money between these coins can you know, be minimized to a select few, right? The likes of PHP, which is a very strong coin, AI coin already, usually is one of the best outperformers. I think this will be one of the main AI coins to be focusing on from here on out, along with RNDR and Wild. We have some. This isn't actually AI, as I found out the other day, but like Near as well. Not to forget about Near, but this is putting in a great flip. It's just nice that when we do see like rotation, what we're doing is, it hasn't been the case for a while, but we have like BTC, right? BTC, and then money flows into memes, and then money flows into AI, right? And when we get this flow into AI, a lot of the time we see maybe it's a pot luck what you're bidding, right? Same with when we're trying to bid memes, so it's pot luck what's performing well. This time around it's a bit easier to try and time which is going to be performing better, right? And this goes into other or mostly like RWA coins, right? But a lot of the time, other, and I think it's slowly going to start to shift into other now. The likes of Sue, Inch, Tia, Soul, but this is like in its own bracket, right? AVAX, and then probably back to BTC, right? That's just how things have been going. But the idea of having less AI coins to pick for a rotation is nice, right? I don't actually know too much about the merge fundamentally, right? Not really a fundamentals guy. I'm not really sure how it's going to go down, but it's definitely something to look forward to with Nvidia earnings this week, and the merge on the 24th. I think it's a big week for AI coins. Sue, I was just about to call this before I went on stream. Really nice price action here. I've been keeping an eye on it. As I said, it falls into that other bracket, but expecting this to put in a nice reversal soon. I went to call it, but I spotted this sort of flat H4 candle, right? I was basically went to call it on this retest. Since then, we've bounced like 2.3%, so not missed too much. But the 4-hour and the M30 chart, we have like this flat candle. So I'm watching for a retest on that sort of region to get along this week on Sue. Like drop in on a little reclaim, then we take the long and we look at probably trading back towards like 138, or at least above these highs, right? But overall, nice like reclaim since Sunday. A lot of people were like selling on yesterday across the board, right? And historically it works both ways, right? If we do get a Sunday move, a lot of the time we do retrace that move going early into the week, right? And we have seen like that meme reversion just the opposite way today. So across the board, and the same with meme coins. A lot of people were selling meme coins over the weekend. Floki, we're in spot on this, holding for now. Invalidation for me is if we start to deviate back under here, then I would probably cut the trade. But for now, putting in a really nice retest, and if Floki shows some positive signs here today, I'm going to look at adding to spot back to DCA down. If we put in this deviation and reclaim back above here, I'm going to add into my spot position. Also Doge, we're in spot with stop on break even now. And meme still in this spot. I think around entry. I can't remember specifically where the entry is, but again, for me, this looks fairly bottomed, and high time frame invalidation is a close under this region. I did want to check. Whiff looking good. Did you take long yesterday? I bought into some spot on Whiff, but overall waiting for this reclaim. You know, as I posted last week in the market report. I think that was the Whiff report last week. These lows were vulnerable. These lows were vulnerable on Whiff, and we were also sat below 315, 3.2, which, you know, if you read the market report, you knew that either options here to take a position was either a sweep under here and a reclaim to get long, or a break above here and to get long. Until then, like, I think I'm basically buying spot all the way from, you know, 2.6, like as talked about in the market report, 2.6 all the way down into 2.2. For spot, and for a leveraged long entry, looking for a reclaim of this 2.8 region. So, all right, so two options for like the intraday side of things was a sweep under this 2.8 region, you know, as I was showing, sweep under and a reclaim. That could be your first entry, or the second one was a break above 3.2 and a move up, right? Overall, Whiff looks pretty good on the higher time frame. Oh, for some reason you can't click on this photo, but yeah, sort of higher time frame bidding spot into like 2.5 into these equal lows, and you can get on a reclaim. Probably a bit too aggressive bidding spot this early, but I saw Tex get in, so it was a good signal for me. And, you know, since then, moving up. Just realized I haven't actually spoken on BTC yet. I did want to just check the reaction to the last time we had Nvidia earnings, right? AI coins. Well, near looks great though, right? Like from here as well, it's really nice invalidation. You know, buy spot. Following from, again, the near market report, yet another report which I've put out in recent weeks. Right, option one playing out here. Looking for a flip of 7.5 for a trade towards $11. Right, I don't write these market reports for no reason. They're really handy, and they give me a good like outlook on the coin. You know, of course, it's good for you as a reader, but also at the same time, I come out of it feeling refreshed on my plan for these altcoins, right? So this looks nice. A 3-day potentially flipping here. High volume, no pocket at 10.8, and even can expand to 14.6 if it really gains some traction with like Nvidia earnings this week. Trying to find Nvidia's Q1. Oh, this is the Q1, apologies. Their Q4 then of last year. So from what I recall, the market reacted very well from it, right? Like AI coins did anyway. Can't find the date anywhere. Anyway, if someone can find me the date of that, that'd be great. I'll continue talking about BTC. So overall, really positive signs for me for BTC. Again, over the weekend we saw a pretty decent flush across the board. We saw a flush on Sunday, or just like people closing their positions, and then we, decent reclaim, and today as well, a little flush early this morning, and instantly like V-shape bounced. I think overall really positive signs from BTC here. A couple of reasons why. That being as of right now, the Q1 value area high is holding very well. I really like when I see this sort of price action. What happens is price sort of attempts to trade back inside on the lower time frame, back inside that Q1 value area, and then we get the sort of failed attempts at breaking down and reclaim deviation. Along with that, holding above the prior weekly value area high, which last week acted as a nice support area. Again, sort of attempted to trade back inside that developing weekly value area and trade it back outside. Overall, I think really positive signs, and this week we can expect a move towards 68k plus, probably towards range highs at least, towards 71k. When we look on the 4 hour, things just look really positive right now. Like the sort of support Sunday flush, and we've just mean reverted that whole weekend move. So things are looking really good for BTC, value wise and overall structure wise. Trading back inside the top half of our prior monthly value. So a trade towards previous monthly value or high here would not be surprising. We have this sort of like gap after we broke, sort of come back in, retested. Now we have that gap, which for me tells me we have like acceptance. We have like time and space, right? When you have time and space away from objective, point of interest objective, it can act as acceptance for that move back towards previous monthly value or high. So overall, BTC looks really positive value wise. What was I looking for? And flow looks good, right? As of this morning, we had a nice buyback on the V shape. We had a nice buyback from spot buyers. 21st of Feb. Thank you. So yeah, decent spike up on 21st, right? Apologies. Yeah, so like following Nvidia earnings, AI coins started to move up. Right, sort of like sold up and sold off, and then continues to move up from there. AI coins were in a really strong trend at that time though, so it could be slightly different. Yeah, so big week. We can start looking at some charts now. Sort of offloaded my thoughts. High time frame on things remain the same. We continue to range though. That's really important to remember here, that despite this move that we've seen on BTC, we are ranging still. There's no doubt about that. There are positive signs for a bottom, like as I've said many times, I do think we are you know, forming similar price action to prior bottoms where we have like range low area, deviation, breakout, reclaim, and then we move up, right? Again, I think we're getting there. We're sort of in like, you could say the third, right, pullback of the cycle, or since we've like sort of really started trading, you could say we're in the second pullback of the cycle, right? So either way, I think, you know, we're not near cycle top just yet, and we got more to go, but important to remember that we are still ranging, and until, you know, we see acceptance above 72k area, we're going to struggle to break out, right? And we can also see that when we look at our developing quarterly value, right? We're still trading within inside this quarterly value, right? And most importantly, the quarterly, the yearly value error high. You know, we're back inside this yearly value error high, right? So this is an important point to get above now, is 68k. But the reaction from the yearly view was fantastic. Just high time frame looks good, like for continuation, but we are still ranging, you know. So like taking longs towards like 70k is very risky. You know, absolute ideal scenario across the board would be a drop back into like 63 and break higher, but I'm very unsure whether we get such move, right? Whether we can backfill towards 63k, I'm unsure. Yeah, this is what I was saying about sort of price action similar to our July bottom, but also the sentiment. The sentiment is really similar, and altcoin charts look almost identical to how they looked back in like July 2021. Like something like ARB, I charted that this morning in my questions section, and this sort of price action can form really nice bottoms, but you need to see some structure shift first, right? Like this can easily be like waterfall price action, but a lot of people, you know, if we get like one more fake out, a lot of people would get like mega bearish into this breakdown and probably try and short, which is then just like fuel for us to bounce, right, if we start to move up again. But overall, like sentiment around this price action and around a lot of these charts that look like this are the exact same, and hence the meme trade, right? This time we got like a little structure shift, which is why I took the long. But again, I'll try and show some examples. Overall, just like people mega bearish into like higher time frame support areas, you know. See what I mean here? Like AVAX, you know, I can imagine that most people here on AVAX were expecting this to like just break down, right? A lot of people were probably saying this was topped and getting mega bearish, and it's forming this like really nice higher time frame momentum like divergence into low, right? Like look at the awesome oscillator on the daily against price, and eventually we just see this massive move away. And there's not often you get these massive higher time frame momentum divergences on the awesome oscillator, right? You know, we had another one here with price, right, sort of, and then eventually we got to move away. And again, now we're seeing one here, right? AVAX, momentum divergence into the low, into a higher time frame level. Yeah, everyone is getting like super bearish, right? Because you can guarantee that if AVAX did lose 31, then we would see a drop towards 20 for sure. But until then, like this is concrete support, right? Right, same again with Sol. Like here, everyone was just getting like mega bearish into the lows. This time we didn't have so much of a divergence, and like momentum divergence into the lows. But, you know, concrete support, yeah, every time we come into this area, people were capitulating, people were shorting, and eventually we get that bounce away, right? It really reminds me of current price action, or did remind me of current price action for Sol, right? So in spot, unfortunately, didn't get fully filled on my spot bags, but it's what it is. You know, we could look at these setups like these similar setups all day in Rune. That's another coin that probably had a similar thing. This chart's a bit different actually. This one actually sort of broke that key support area. Anyway, massive concrete high time frame support. Yeah, everyone's getting bearish, right? I just think the sentiment around a lot of these coins is a lot worse than it should be, especially around meme coins. Like meme coins have been carrying the market, and people are saying that they've topped out. Drip pretty strong. This actually looks alright, you know. This doesn't look too bad, right? Anyone that was selling over the weekend, I think, is going to buy higher this week, personally. BTC looks great for a leg up, at least towards like 70k, push towards 70k. A lot of coins look fantastic. Like this looks really nice, so I want to add this to my watch list, but let's have a scan. Pepe is putting in a nice retest here. Excuse me. It's for our kind of in a strong downtrend though, so I'm just waiting for the shift. But overall, like retesting this blue area was an area I was interested in. But if we look on the lower time frame, as of right now, kind of needs to invalidate this setup, but can easily do so in one candle, really, can't it? But as of right now, like this lower time frame, I need to flip. You know, it's potentially flipping here, but I think back above 0.0096, we take a long position, because then we also have this breakout from the downtrend, right? And confirm the deviation like under this high time frame level. Overall looks really nice. It's got some alerts there. Although these alerts are like, they keep triggering, but not like once they trigger, they don't disappear. Thoughts on Pendle? So, it's an RWA coin, right? Yeah. 11% on the day. You got to change the alert settings to only once instead of always. Oh, thank you. Oh, so if they get triggered and they're still on my chart, they'd re-trigger if price went back past them. I thought they were just bugged and staying there. Breaking this 4-hour downtrend. Big level here though. It's 5-7. This whole region. Had a nice bottom, like standard setup, isn't it really? Low, sweep, deviation, reclaim, moved away. Textbook setup really. 30% move from there. Pendle's is tough here. I mean, 5-4-1 big level, 5-7 big level. Maybe if you got a retest towards $5, I think that could be a nice area to bid. If not, probably wait for like break and retest. Until then, like $5, I think. Could you have a look at Pife? I saw it had. It was up on Spaghetti this morning. Daily div into lows, squeezed hard after unlock. A lot of these like newer listing coins, I'll talk about them now. But I was talking, looking at them with JD and Tex last weekend or last week. A lot of these newer listing coins, they have like huge divergences into the lows. They have massive squeeze potential, but still stuck in, you know, as I've been talking about, like this downtrend. Like, until we sort of shift from this downtrend, it's kind of a gamble on bidding them. But the potential is there for a squeeze. You're really, like, you're so right. A lot of them look. A lot of them have this massive squeeze potential. I'll show you some of the charts now. Yeah, you always, with these newer listings, you always want to try and find the chart with the most history. But yeah, like look at this selling going into the lows, right? Selling going into the lows. Then again yesterday, like just fucking people selling. selling into a weekly open. Crazy spot bid, massive funding. Yeah, it's a nice setup. Yeah, it can squeeze a lot, but if I show you a lot of these charts, they all look the same, right? They've been blasted since listing. A lot of them have just been blasted since the top back in March. The blasting, they got these massive daily divergences into the lows, right? You know, like big time again, another one of those coins that had a massive run and it's just getting blasted into the lows. You know, a lot of these probably won't recover when we look at DIM. This isn't too bad. Like flows, there's not too much of a large anomaly on flow here. Unfi doing unfi things. Yeah, look, Manta. This is one I'm watching. Crazy, like it's just been sold off heavy. If you can get back above here, I think that looks great for a long. Get back above 1.5. Probably looks, you could look at long in it. Yeah, big time had a whole cycle. It did. Have you? Hello. Have you had a? Have you checked drip? It's starting to look like Ina right before a massive run. Yeah, I was just discussing drip, but I'll go back to it in a sec. But yeah, Manta, another coin that's just been getting heavily like shorted into the lows, right? And can set up for a massive squeeze. Like look at this like shorting that's going on, the selling that's just been going on into the lows, right? That increase in OI and decrease in CVD. These coins can set up for massive squeeze potential. Meme, which you know I'm already in, or in on spot. Pyth, we just spoke about Pyth. RDNT, another one of those coins, right? These it's the same. It's like all of these newer, like it's in my wick list, right? It's all of these like these newer listings. Say really nice. This looks positive for the week coming. W as well. Yeah, putting in a really solid daily flip here. Manta could even be a bid, you know. It's risky, given we haven't had this structure shift. But it's kind of just fairly easy invalidation from here and like upwards of, what's that, like 5% is just low volume. There's like a gap. I definitely think this is overextended on the weekend. And on the lower time frame, we got like this sort of flip. I think we try this. It's a little bit risky, but I think it can it can play out. Like a short's still entering down here, and I think if we start to trade above these highs here, we should probably just trade back towards like 155 at least. I feel like this is very overextended on the weekend. Probably long. See. Flat bomb candle on this M30 chart. We could probably bid there, I think. So on the spot there as well. Yeah. Alright, I reckon we bid this flat bottom candle after a V reversal today. Under here. This whole area. So bid into like one high volume no pot here as well, so it should bounce away. Like a 3% stop. We're going to target 154 and above. You know, if we start to flip there, it can really push up. So let's keep an eye on that. It's the ultimate trend reversal pattern, and it can be you get series of low highs and low lows. It's definitely. Yeah, just standard structure, right? Standard structure shift. Although, yeah, you can kind of make this wick an anomaly. So you could say that was like this is like your low. These are your lows here. So this is like the structure shift from the downtrend. That's your structure shift. Ignore those lows. Is it let's just check that Manta's got no unlocks. Oh, so it has 1.87 mil unlock in 11 days. 0.7 of supply in 11 days. See, that's the problem with bidding these newer coins, right? Like, especially when we have no like history of it, right? Like all this could just continue to bleed. Something like this, when you get, when we've got such a sweep and we've had shorts literally building the whole way down here, and this low volume node gap up here, it can act as a positive place for reversal and squeeze. Just makes it's just slightly more easier to squeeze the shorts that are built on this breakdown, right? Say looking good to bid some spot here. I reckon so. If you're looking for spot, say exposure, or you're just looking for say exposure in general, like downtrend's broken, 2-month downtrend is broken, right? Textbook setup really, range low, deviation, reclaim. Okay, so you could scale in spot from here all the way into 0.49 for a move towards 0.65. Validation just being as if it fails to even hold here, because likely if it fails to hold here, it's going to probably run for new lows. After such reclaim, you're going to want to see a pretty fast reaction from there. It's my let's see chart gone. My TPO has not been saving. I don't get it. Yeah, it's not saving. Where's all my shit? Just bracketing here, right? See that? 3 profiles now. Well, developing Dave profile. Just chopping. There's like some consolidation for expansion though. I feel like I've spoken all of my thoughts. Monday's always a bit slow regarding price action because usually you just meme revert whatever happened on the weekend, and I feel like you don't really get, at least lately we haven't really been seeing strength in moves until towards New York Open, or at least that's when people have been having interest. Sol is unbelievably strong. What's the current top vote for the market report this week? Bonk. Interesting. They all look the same, really, don't they? APT and ARB actually almost identical charts, really. APT, watch for a reclaim of like 8.8 this week. AR is mega strong in that. What should I put the lows? Hello? 1,000. Guys, want me to look at any charts? I literally sold Pico top of APT. I was just happy with the profits, to be honest. We'll take it. Surprised the Iran news isn't explained yet. I mean, wasn't just their president killed? I don't think there's anything like war related yet. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, for sure. To be fair, the market hasn't really been reacting to war news as of lately. And it's not necessarily new war news, is it? Like Israel and Iran. We saw some pretty positive flows last week from ETF, though, didn't we? Let's see. Keep watching this. Don't answer this. I'll tell you tell you guys when I answer. There's some nice daily flips going on here. like across the board actually. But we kind of want to see these drive, right? If we start to see these sort of flips deviate, I think things can set up for decent shorts back lower, to be honest. But like CHR, like higher time frame, big high time frame level around this like 0.25 area, right? Momentum div into that area, right? And now sort of like breaking back above range highs and back above this low, right? Which is positive. This low sort of was the low that, it's a strong low as it led to like a new higher high, right? So positive signs for us to be reclaiming back above here. And a lot of daily charts are looking like this. So we kind of want to see some follow through this week in momentum across the board, right? Especially on like a lot of these meme coins like Floki, same thing, right? Range highs, breaking this downtrend, now reclaiming. It's very this retest is going to move up until like proven otherwise, right? Obviously, if we get that deviation, it could look ugly, in which case I would cut my spot and probably Floki goes back to like range lows or whatever. Same with Pepe. Nice retest here, but no time for him to see some triggers. On fight, doing on fight things. I put some updates in charges for the past few days and somehow I've nailed the price action. Nice work. Well, we haven't actually done this yet. Question is, James, have you been trading it? That's the most important thing. You'd be right 10 times out of 10. But if you're not actively using it, means not. Right. Should we call it a stream? Kind of running out of things to ramble about, and I'm not talking about Iran politics, that's for sure. Just chopping here, sort of basically back to square one where we were on Friday, right? If we look at Friday close. It's my line. Friday close and weekly open. Like weekly opened here and, we sort of mean reverted back above the Friday close. So, resuming as we were last week. I think it's going to be interesting to see how this week plays out with ETF flows, ETH denial potential, or just the ETH ETF approval, whether it gets denied or not, and the AI merge between FET AGIX and Ocean. Yeah, I saw silver was up a decent amount last week. The XY, I didn't talk about this yet, but 105 has been that really strong reversal point consistently. Basically, every time BTC or DXY has come into this area and deviated back under, it has been very positive for BTC, and we've seen a move up, right? So DXY this week, if we can continue to hold under this 105 area, I think we can look for a rejection down towards like 103, even 101. Maybe not exactly this week, but like higher time frame. And that can be very positive for BTC, right? All right. Rejection from 105, BTC moved up. Rejection from started to move up towards 105, BTC is decreasing. Eventually we do see that strong rejection from 105, BTC moves up. Increases towards 105, BTC moves down. Then we start to, consolidate, BTC starts to move up, and then when we do see that rejection, we get that another move up from BTC, right? Again here, 105 starts getting tested, BTC decreases, we start to deviate below 105 and BTC is starting to move up, right? So positive signs if we can get a move on DXY back down to like that 101 region, we could start to see that next leg up for BTC, right? DXY has been pretty good risk for it. I use a VPN, Larry, yeah. NordVPN. But actually I live in Palau, so that's how I use it. I don't think there's any dollar events this week, no. Nothing. Alright, I'm going to keep an eye on Manta today for a long, and we'll call that a stream. Alright, market report some point this week. We'll be streaming probably once or twice again this week. Streams recorded, work on some content and stuff, and hopefully get us some decent trades. Not forcing too much today as a Monday. Gonna keep an eye on Manta. Other than that, have a good week. Speak to you later.